Time to get this back on. Hey everyone, Joe here from ActionX. Welcome to that very extra opening. Welcome, welcome back. This is going to be the beginning of your Walker Season 3 episode review. Here we are, Season 3, guys. Let's go. It has been the longest since I waited for a Walker episode. Usually the most was like 2 months. We had a whole summer away, which it felt different. It felt good because we had to take a little bit of a break from Walker. There was a thing called the Walker hiatuses where like they took extremely long. Like they took extremely long to get. And again, given how much the show is and everything that it is, it's perfectly fine. It's just when Walker premiered, I think you couldn't go more than 2 months without seeing a brand new episode. At some point, literally season 1 ended, and then like less than 2 months later, we were already into season 2. So it's not that much long of a wait for Walker normally. So this was the first time like it felt weird. Like, oh, we had like a whole summer away. Like we had 4 months away. Oh, okay, actually not 4 months. 3 months away from the Walker. It was a sizable break that. It took a little bit of like adjustment for me to get back into this world because it's been so long, as well as not only the return of Walker, up next tomorrow you'll have your first episode review for Walker Independence, which will kickstart the Walker universe, the Walkerverse over on the CW. Again, it's a bang old time for us to hear what's of the two. Not only do we have 2 shows on the Rookieverse to review, we also now have 2 shows on the Walkerverse to review, because we are also reviewing every episode of Walker Independence, the Walker spinoff, the prequel that will be airing. Well, I haven't watched it yet. So what I'm doing is I'm gonna watch Walker live first, do the review, pause Walker Independence, come back after the review, and then play that, watch it, review that, and then go and do. It's good. Thursday nights are gone for me. Like Thursday night is just Walker. It's just Walker nights for the rest of the season, and you know what? That's totally fine for me. That's totally fine. I love the world of Walker. I can't wait to see what they're gonna do for Independence. And I'm about to find out in about an hour or so. But yeah, I'm excited. But anyway, with this premiere, for one, it was like a breath of fresh air. It's a little bit more mature, it's a little bit more darker, it's a little bit more realistic. It doesn't balance the usual Walker style yet of like family and also serious mode. It doesn't, considering the fact that, well, they do family stuff, but like not in the loving family, because there's a lot going on here. And also I was very happy the fact this is, I think, one of the first premieres. Well, I don't want to get to spoilers yet, but it's one of the first premieres that it actually does not truly immediately resolve things. It doesn't, and that's all as vague as I'll say it. But overall, I thought this episode was a great premiere, a great Kickstarter, and it bucks the trend a little bit, gives us something a little bit more darker, a little bit, not darker like it's like gritty or anything, but like even the logo for the promotion material, it's now darker. It's not the brown logo, it's a black font. And it definitely showcases that this season is going to be a little bit more serious. And after this first episode, I'm wondering how far they're going to go. But with that being said, let's go through the butcher recount and talk about the season 3 premiere of Walker. So we begin right where we left off from the season 2 finale. The race is over. James and Liam are back at the finish line. Stella's wondering where's her dad, what's going on, and they're obviously trying to like pretend like, oh, it's a joke. He's probably hiding in the bushes somewhere, waiting for him to surprise us. They're trying to be optimistic, but Stella, now being kind of like this focal glue for the family, she kind of gets the sense that something is wrong, that something's not right. So she's very much worried already on the get-go that something happened to her dad. And obviously we get a little bit more of what Walker been through, that, yeah, a couple of guys jumped him, they tied him up, they knocked him out, they threw him in the back of a van, and they are taking him to parts unknown, specifically to this abandoned building, like, very gritty-looking building, and, they take him to the basement. At first they just assume, like, oh, he's passed out, so they're about to begin, like, they're normally saying like, oh, we have at least 36 hours to do what we want with him before, most likely the Rangers are going to go after him, because right now that is their priority, to find Walker. So they know they're going to eventually get caught, but they're going to try and break him beforehand, in order to see whatever for their end game is going to be. Like, they need Walker he's a crucial part of it, but so they're going to give Walker some time to wake up. But we know Walker's already alive. He's still up and running. He's hearing the whole thing. So, now he's going to be wondering how the hell he's going to get out of this procurement situation. Slowly, one by one, the situation does become clear that, like, yeah, this is not normal. Like, Cordell does not take this long to come out, or there's definitely something afoot here. You know, they find his watch on the field. Everyone's starting to just get the worriness of, like, yeah, he is not safe. He's not around. And that's something that they're just not comfortable with right now. They're trying to figure out, like, everyone's, again, this is the day that Stella has graduated. It's supposed to be all party mode. They're all supposed to be having fun tonight. And then slowly, the reality starts setting in, even when they're trying to set up for the party itself. Reality just starts setting in, like, no, he's not all right. Like, Cordell is missing. He's been taken. And again, Stella, like, having this, like, weird third sense premonition, where did that come from? I really don't know. But, you know, obviously we gotta get the plot moving. But yeah, she's informing everyone, yeah, he is in danger. We need to find him. No matter what the case is. And, you know, by that point, like, James and Cassie, like, realize, yeah, okay, fine, we're going to go find him. They recruit in James, who, even though he is still not a ranger yet, and he's still considering that offer shit, I think he did accept it, I forgot. But, yeah, but there's still some time, so he's an unofficial member of the Rangers. He's part of the team, but he's just going to be mostly providing ground support while the others are trying to figure out where the hell Cordell went. I believe Cordell suffers his first little torture situation. I believe first, yeah. So the people that are holding him hostage, I'm gonna say this: they're sadistic as fuck. Like, there's a certain vibe that, again, I know it's actors being actors, but, like, they're later on it'll be more emphasized. But I was just watching. There's one particular scene where you see the main torturer, and his eyes and his, like, demeanor is just like, it's cold. It's like he knows what he's doing, but it's not affecting him. It's like he has no judgment, no remorse. That if Walker was to die, he wouldn't care. Like, you know, he has a job to do to break him. He knows the limits, but again, you know, when it comes to torture, you really don't know. Like, you really don't know what the how the reaction is going to be really physically for the other person. So even if you're trying to hold back, it might not be enough for them to handle. Cordell survives the first round of torture, and he gets a visit from Emily, which I'm like, who are you? It's like, oh, it's Emily. Like, I'm not wearing glasses right now, so I have to, like, squint to figure out, oh, it is Emily. It's like, it's kind of like just the like, a spirit, or, like, you know, just a mental figment of his imagination, you know, right now, trying to just help him process this situation, because the whole point of this endeavor that these people are trying to do is to break him, and he doesn't want to be broken, not at all. Like, he needs to get back to Stella. He needs to get back to his family. That's what he needs to get to right now. But it's like, you know, right now, considering the situation, considering the fact that no one knows where he is, it seems like they're in a pretty isolated area that they really don't know what could potentially happen. And Emily's there just kind of keep him going a little bit, trying to keep him, like, positive, like, yeah, in 36 hours they will find you, and then you'll be back home. Like, don't worry, you just gotta hold it out until then. And then, in a weird thing, and at first I'm like, is this his mind playing tricks on him a little bit? Because it seemed a little bit weird. A note starts dangling from a string, and he's just wondering what it is. And it's apparently another kidnapped person that's in another room, but can somehow string along a node over. I really don't understand the logistic of it. It could just be a mental thing. I really don't know. But yeah, Walker's aware that she's there, and, you know, that she has another usefulness that isn't just being held hostage. Over back on everyone else, everyone's just trying to figure out what's going on. Cassie still thinks that the guy she went on a date with that was acting really suspicious might be involved in this, that she can't really quite shake that feeling off, even though James is like, you know what, we need anything right now. We need any sort of leads we can get to go find him. And they're just assuming, like, connecting the dots, this could be it. This could be, like, the main reason this could be happening. And meanwhile, on the other side of things, slowly, like, you know, everyone's just trying to stay positive, trying to, like, let the Rangers do their job. They'll bring Cordell fine, safe back home. But everyone, it's starting to feel a little bit more unearthed, because there's a certain point where, like, you know, the reality is, just think it's a TV show and, like, they'll eventually get through it. It isn't much of an excuse anymore. It just seems like everyone is starting to reach their breaking point. Like, again, it's been a very rough almost 2 years for the Walkers. They lost a loved one. Another loved one went undercover for months, went distant from them, and then came back a different person. They went through a lot of ordeals. near death situations, battles for their land, and just other dangerous things that's come across their family. Like, I'm not surprised by this point. Now Cordell is kidnapped. I'm not surprised if morale's at a really all-time low. Everyone knows that. Like, yeah, for everyone right now, morale's at a downward. Like, they're just done. And not in the sense of like they're just done. Like, whatever happens, but it's just in the sense of like, why does this keep happening to them? Like, they can never enjoy a moment of peace. I get it, it's a TV show. Like, they got to keep going with the drama. They got to keep going with the plot lines to keep the show entertaining. We understand that from a viewer standpoint, but understand, like, they're just a family. This isn't something that they're supposed to be dealing with that often. Like, you're supposed to have like typical high school romance drama, teen drama, job problems at work. That's about it. It's this entire family has been through the ringer, and now on the kickstart of another potential incident. I'm not surprised. And instead, even the patriarch, which is Grandma Walker, she's starting to break a little bit, and that's the scary part. Where throughout all the seasons so far, she was the one actually just keeping everything afloat, keeping everyone in check a little bit, making sure that everyone is fine, that everything's going to be fine at the end. The fact that even she right now is starting to break, like, I can't do this anymore. Like, this is too much for me. Like, I just can't. It's like it's real. Like, it's starting to become real. Like, this is a situation that they didn't want. Of course, no one expected. But now that it's happened, it's something that it just isn't really something that they want to accept right now. But yeah, so picking up from that point onwards, so yeah, that leads into like when Cassie gets a lead on the guy she went on a date with. There's like a similarity into potential where Cordell could be captured, could be being held at. So they're about to go in, and James runs into Grandma Walker in the waiting room, and they're talking about like she kind of blames him for like keeping Cordell going as being a Texas Ranger instead of like letting him go, and that right now I just want you. The next time I see you, better be you bringing back my boy. Like, if I see your face again, it better be with Cordell. Otherwise, she will never forgive him. And she says, again, that scene alone just showcases like she is just done. She just wants her family to be safe. No more drama, no more issue, which is not going to happen, but still, she just wants them to be at a desk job somewhere, because at the end of the day, like, it's just how it is. Like, when you care for someone, you want the best for them, but you also want them to be safe, and there's only just so much you can ask for that. That's what they want at the end of the day. Meanwhile, Cordell's still getting tortured. They're trying to break him slowly. It's not like an intense, like, every moment type torture, but they're giving him breaks and periods, because apparently the girl that's being held hostage in another room is mainly there to kind of give Cordell hope that, like, he's not alone, that he's still there, and that he'll have company. But her whole point is like, eventually they're going to take me away, and they're going to try and use that against you. They're going to try, break you down. Another thing is that Liam is also at the ranch, and he's dealing with it in his own way. Like, he knows his brother is in trouble, and he knows hopefully he'll get out of it. But right now he's just in that waiting period. His not really boyfriend, but the guy that also is interested in him, shows up to kind of comfort him a little bit, which is honestly pretty sweet. They go walking on the fields trying to find any sort of like answers to figure out where the hell Cordell went. They're just walking around talking about just, how it's just a reality of like, in this line of work for just them and, growing up, like, when you come to a point where like you have to step away for a while and, you don't know if they're really coming back. Because when someone kind of leaves you, you don't really know if they're coming back. And that's just the scary reality of the world. Like, you just never know. And I feel like this is the season where, like, I feel like it's going to be, like, reality is going to hit the fan. And it's going to be a shitty ride. However, Liam gets an idea of that, hey, the watch was stopped. It's not keeping going. It's stopped. When presumably Cordell got kidnapped. So that could be a good indicator of when the timetables or to at least narrow down the field of like when could this potential van have passed through or where he could have been through. So they use that as like a little good like next step to figure out what the hell's going on. But that night the Rangers head into what presumably was their villain station, and for a little bit I felt like, okay, that's it, like the villain's gonna get caught, that's it. Because for me, like what I said in the jump is that something that I was a little bit disappointed by with Walker Season 2's premiere is that the whole cliffhanger they did was literally resolved in the first episode. Mostly, yes. Mostly, yeah, it was mostly resolved. And I was a little disappointed by that. And I don't really like it when TV shows generally, like, they have that big finale, and then instead of, like, trying to use that to carry through the entire premise of the beginning episode, they kind of resolve everything in the first episode just so they can kind of go back to a new status quo or the old status quo. And I'm not saying that is a problem, but I get a little sick of it sometimes. I want the consequences, the reality of the last big moment to kind of carry over longer. Like, I think the biggest disappointment for me ever on TV was Flashpoint. When the Flash ended season 2, with the Flashpoint tease that, like, he calls it happened. And we got to season 3, and it was a great moment, and people were excited, and then the episode literally came, and it went. It was just it. And I was just like, wow. I still remember that time period where everyone was speculating how long would Flashpoint take with the crossover, tie into that to get Barry. Like, there was a lot of speculation, and for pretty good reason. And then when the episode came out, it was just, oh, it fixed everything in one episode. Okay. Again, like, it's just not the reality of things. And, and I felt like, okay, here we go. They're gonna get Cordell out. They're gonna get the guys out. That's it. New matter for season 3. Okay, let's get this over with. But no, they don't. They go in. It's not the location. It's not the place where they're holding him. And Walker's still getting tortured well into the next day. And yeah, they don't have him. They don't find him. And I was like, oh, okay. You won't be going down that way? Okay, I'm interested again. I'm interested in your move. Cassie finds a bag of peanuts on the floor, and she presumes it's a message from the guy she went on a date with because he had a nut allergy, so why would he leave nuts there? James is like trying for her not to read into it. Like, it's probably not anything related to it. It's just probably just a bag of nuts that some random hippie or random drug user dropped in this abandoned building. But Cassie doesn't believe it. Like, she thinks she's going to run some prints on it and keep going on, like, this trail web. Cordell survives the next round of torture. It's getting really bad. Like, so slowly but surely, he's just breaking down a little bit more and more. Like, he's holding his ground, but it's becoming more apparent. Emily's just doing the best she can to, like, keep him going a little bit. He sadly hears noises about the other woman that's in the other cell being taken away. So whether or not they killed her or not is unknown. But now she's gone. Yeah, the other thing to note is that Stella's boyfriend comes back in because he was away for a brief bit after graduation to go take care of some stuff. But after hearing the news, he comes back to support her, to take care of her. There was a very nice scene where Stella and August were just talking about the reality of, like, there's a chance that Dad might not come home. This could be it. This could be the end of our family. Like, like, not the end of the family, but just the end of our family. Just our parents being gone from us. And obviously, August is inclined to believe, no, it's going to be fine. He's going to come back. Don't worry about it. Like, he will return. But Stella is not sure of it because, like, you got to accept reality. And also, it's kind of like, I'll agree with August on this. Like, you just turned 18. You just graduated from high school. That doesn't make you this knowledgeable person that we should listen to. Like, no, it isn't. He has a point there. But I do appreciate he's just trying to keep hope alive that he will return home. So, yeah, after that bus, Cassie tries to look up the peanut, any prints on the peanut. It doesn't lead to anywhere. She talks to Abby about, Grandma Walker about this. And, she's still expressing, like, yeah, no, don't say sorry for yourself. Like, you had probable cause. You explored it. It didn't work out so well. Okay, but I appreciate that you're still doing this for my son, that you're still trying to do the best you can to find him. And, hopefully it'll work out the same. Even, like, a search party or in a nearby field turns out no results to any sort of new clues for Walker. So yeah, the situation is becoming more and more bleak by the moment. Trey's doing his best to try and help from the sideline, even though he is a Texas Ranger by heart. He's not one yet, so he's trying his best to, like, figure out something. The best they found out is that one of the neighbors had surveillance tape from their property, so that might be useful to trying to find where Walker is. It might narrow down the van they were using, so they try to explore that front. They're still trying to keep hope alive. Even Grandpa Walker, for once, like, he's just trying to, like, motivate the troops. But again, another hard moment to accept was that when Grandma Walker was, like, packing down the celebration stuff, she just says honestly, like, the moment's passed. Like, this isn't a moment to celebrate. Like, we might have to expect the moment of grief soon. And Grandpa Walker's like, why are you acting like this? Like, in all my life, I've always had to worry about the rest of the family and making sure their morals are fine. I never have to worry about you. But even Grandpa Walker says, like, I can't ignore it anymore. Like, it is what it is right now. Like, I miss my son. I need him back, but there's nothing more I can do. And, there's a chance he might not come back, and I have to accept that. And, that's the life he signed up for, and that's the life I had to accept. And, it hurts him as well, because, like, that's his wife. Like, he's always had that upbeat personality about his wife, the strong, can't break mentality, and that it's starting to, like, really... He's doing his best to try and keep it afloat, but, the cracks are there. Like, they're starting to tear as it goes along. I want to say the only other piece I'm trying to remember, because, yeah, I think that was about it. There's a sweet scene when August tells Stella that he doesn't need any parental figure right now, that he only needs Dad back. Jerry shows up to kind of, like, consolidate them, like, make sure they're slowly getting through this. She makes some fresh cookies for them to kind of keep them going. And it was a nice scene for them to have. It was like, the kind of like mother-son scene that isn't really a mother and son scene, but it's still like an adult and a child that really care about each other in a familiar sense. And, that's... I think even in the darkest moment, in the darkest time, like, as long as you have family, you'll get through it. Even this one, so that it's also pretty sweet that, yeah, even though, like, Jerry's still, like, in them weird in between patch right now with everything going on, like, she's still there for the Walkers. It's still her home. It's still part of her family and all that sort. Yeah, and I think lastly, to say the least of all, what I can talk about is Cordell goes. Is still, like, the mind is starting to crack more. It's starting to crack more and more. He's getting a little bit more desperate. He's starting to get a little bit more in desperation. He hears noises. Emily's about to go away for the last time, and he's like, no, I can't do this without you. And she gives him reassurance that he will get through this. And, even though it's taking a little bit longer, like the normal, like, he will get through this. But what sadly makes that situation elevate even worse is that they come back with another person. They come back with Liam. Now Cordell's like, oh no, you're not gonna. But that's where the episode ends, where now Cordell and Liam are being held hostage, and Cordell knows well and may that they will kill Liam to get what they want. So it's still a race against the clock. It really is. But yeah, so like I said from the get-go, like, this was a great episode for me because they bucked the trend. They kept it going. Like, Walker was not saved in that first episode. They kept him going. They're putting him through the ringer now in the starter to make him learn something. What is the end result of this kidnapping? I don't know. Your guess is as good as mine. But I feel like something bad's going to happen. I really do believe so. I really hope it doesn't. But we have to, again, it's all about reality. Like, that's just the theme of this episode. Like, you kind of have to accept that whatever happens, happens. And it's going to hurt you. However, it's sadly just unavoidable. And hopefully they don't do the unavoidable. They don't do the sudden, but at the end of the day, it is what the story needs, and it is what everyone requires to view it as, to make it stand out from everything else. So it is different. I do find it a little weird, like, Stella had that sudden, like, personality change as soon as, not personality change. She's always been that person, but the way she's acting, like, oh, Cordell's missing. We need to stick together. Like, some of that attitude felt natural, but it also felt a little forced at times, in my opinion. And seeing just, like, the severity of the situation, like, really the aftermath on the mind of just dealing with these events constantly, like, to get to see the ramifications from it and seeing the cracks in that mindset was great, because it gives them, it isn't just a perfect, trying to be this perfect person just so that everyone else can be happy, or trying to help everyone else, like, be happy. It isn't, and it's the reality of the show, of everything going on now, is that this is much more serious. This is a much more dangerous conflict. And we now don't know what the heck's going to happen. But again, we might get answers next week, and we might not. We don't know. But for me, overall, right now, I'm going to give the Season 3 premiere of Walker 2 thumbs up. Let me know in the comments below, what did you think of the premiere of Walker? Let's have that conversation down below. Let's go start it up. And I believe that's going to do it for me today, everyone. So if you're unaware, this has been What's the Two from ActionX, reviewing every episode in the 3rd season of Walker. if you want to know what we're doing normally on What's the Two besides our Walker episode reviews. We're currently doing the Rookie episode reviews each and every week after Brand Nemesis on Sunday nights on ABC. We're also doing the Rookie Feds episode reviews each and every week after Brand Nemesis on Tuesday nights on ABC. We're currently doing DC Stargirl Season 3 episode reviews each and every week after Brand Nemesis on the CW each and every Wednesday night. And starting tomorrow, you'll be getting your Walker Independence episode reviews each and every week after Brand Nemesis on Thursday nights only on the CW. If you don't care about Walker, you're in luck. We'll be back next week, Friday, with another brand new episode review for you. So get excited, get hyped for that. What the heck's gonna happen? I don't know, but I'm excited for it. I'm excited to see what direction they might push in it. That's what I care about. But until then, again, this has been What's the Two from ActionX. Please subscribe to us on youtube.com/ActionX videos. Ring that bell for notification when our next episode review is live. Please also like, favorite, share this review if you want to. And as well as please follow us on social media to stay up to date with any sort of updates we may have for either of our channels. But until we see each other again, for all you Texas Rangers out there, I'll see y'all next week for the next episode review. But until then, stay safe out there, be good to each other. And as always, peace out.